There's a story about an archaeologist. His name is Gabriel Barquet, Gabby to his friends. Some years ago, when he was a little bit younger than he was now, and not as famous as he is now, he was the head of a dig in the Holy Land. You see, his group found some artifacts, pieces of sherds, of pottery, and other kinds of things, and he was able to date what he found amongst the debris there to about 600 years before the birth of Christ. Among the pieces of the pottery and so forth was a curious item. It was a little metal cylinder that had a little parchment on the inside, and there was a chain on it. It obviously was something that hung around the neck of an infant. Now, when he started to examine it, and he was very careful because the parchment being that old, he didn't want it to break up in his hands. He slipped it out very carefully and he unfolded it. And when he started to translate the ancient Hebrew, well, a smile came to his face and a tear came to his eye, because he realized that it was the prayer that his father had prayed over him as a child. In fact, it's the prayer that we heard in our first reading today from the book of Numbers. May the Lord bless you and keep you. May he make his face shine upon you and be gracious unto you. May he look kindly towards you and give him his peace. And while it may have been the prayer that Gabby's father prayed over him as a child, I bet it's the same prayer that Joseph and Mary prayed over the infant Jesus when he was in those swaddling clothes and lying in that manger in Bethlehem. On this, the solemnity of Mary, the Mother of God, she who is called blessed among women, let us look at Mary as the example par excellence, as the paradigm of prayer. Now, the Catechism of the Catholic Church says there are 5 forms of prayer. There's blessing, petition, intercession, thanksgiving, and praise. See, Mary in her very being exemplifies all 5 forms of prayer. First, she is called blessed and is a blessing for others. Well, what is a blessing? Well, blessing is a verbal expression of a wish that good befall someone. The power of the blessing is to give life and happiness. Thus, truly, blessings come from God. The angel told her at the Annunciation that she was full of grace and highly favored by God. And why was Mary blessed in this way? As Elizabeth told her at the time of the visitation, Mary was blessed because she believed that what the angel said to her would come true. It was Mary's great act of faith. Isn't it interesting that nowhere in Scripture is there evidence that Mary ever petitions, asks for something from God for herself? She only wants to do God's will. Let it be done to me according to your will, as she told the angel. However, she was a great intercession. She did intercessions for other people. And the great example of that is the one that you know from the wedding feast of Cana. And when the wine ran out, not to embarrass the young married couple, she went to Jesus and said, they have no wine. And Jesus said, it's not my time yet to start my ministry. I'm not supposed to do this here. And what did Mary do? She went to the stewards and said, do whatever he tells you to do. Great advice for you and me. And the stewards went to Jesus, and Jesus told them what to do. And Jesus performed that miracle he never intended to do, because it was his mother that asked him to do it. And there's the great prayer of thanksgiving and praise that we call the Magnificat. In this prayer of thanksgiving and praise, Mary never extols her own virtues or greatness. Instead, she acclaims and rejoices in God. She recounts His saving act, His mercy, His might, His feeding the poor, His steadfast love in remembering His covenant with His people. You see, For we do well always and everywhere to give thanks and praise to God. Blessing, petition, intercession, thanksgiving, and praise. Mary in her very being is an example of all 5 forms of prayer. Now, as we come to the end of one calendar year and start a new one, we should follow Mary's example and thank God for the blessings that He's given us during this past year. So let us make a New Year's resolution. During the coming year, we should also consider sharing what we have with others who have far, far less than we do. You see, if we do that, it's a way of blessing God for blessing us. I'd like to end this little homily with the words of St. Ambrose, because it kind of sums up the point I'm trying to make in this homily. And his words are like this: "Let Mary's soul be in each of us to proclaim the greatness of the Lord. Let her spirit be in each of us to rejoice in the Lord." Let me wish everyone here a very happy and blessed New Year. Or maybe better yet, I should say, may the Lord bless you and keep you.